All right, let's talk about, is dropshipping dead? You would not believe the thousands of times I see throughout the week people commenting,
Dropshipping is dead in 2024. It doesn't work. It's been extinct for a long time.
Look, I'm not going to rant about the obvious fact that anyone who says that dropshipping is dead just means that they're too scared to try. Outside of that, what I want to do is break down why it's not dead, but the way that it's taught is essentially dead if you're a beginner who's looking to get started online in 2024. Before we get into that, I want to make something very clear. I see a few people talk about this on social media, and it's such a good point. And if you aren't aware of this, please let this sink in. Dropshipping is not a business model that can become saturated and go extinct. That's not how it works. Dropshipping is a fulfillment model. Now, in simple terms, all that means is if I sell something, that something needs to get to the customer. The fulfillment model is how I'm going to get the product from me to them. All that it is. Now, there's a bunch of different ways. There's carrier pigeon, there's horse and cart, me having it in my garage and packaging it up, Oz Post, and sending it to them. Or there is somebody here, and that somebody is a supplier, and they have the products, and I can sell on my website, they buy the product, and then I place it on the supplier ships it to them, and I pocket. All it is a fulfillment model. It's just a way of getting the product to the customer. And in most cases, the customer isn't aware of the dropshipping process. Most people aren't genuinely aware of it. There's a lot of things that you buy on a daily basis, even with you right now, watching dropshipping videos and learning more about it, that you don't even realize are dropshipping. I've got stuff in the mail and I'm like, wait, that was dropshipping? I didn't even realize. It's a part of everyday life at this point because of the fact that it's not something that is a business model that can suddenly collapse. It is not a business model that people can become exceptionally aware of and then suddenly never buy things online again. Dropshipping itself isn't extinct. It's not going to die. What does die is products and strategy. Now, let me explain. Products, on one hand, can do really, really well and over time die out. So if you're dropshipping a product like a fidget spinner, you probably remember when the fidget spinner came out, it was like the #1 hit. Everyone was buying it. It was going crazy. It got to the point where you were going into shopping centers and outside the bakery and outside of the Coles and the Woolworths, the grocery part, like anywhere you went in a shopping center, there was somebody, there was a grandma who was selling fidget spinners. You couldn't get away from them.
Why are you running?
Now, what happened? Well, they became saturated and they stopped selling pretty quickly. And that's what can happen with products. When you're putting products out there, eventually they will die out unless you innovate on the product. And that's not what we're going to talk about today, but that's something that can become saturated. Dropshipping itself can't become saturated. The main thing, though, that I believe is dead, saturated, isn't effective anymore is the dropshipping approach and strategy taught for beginners here on YouTube. You know what I'm talking about. Build a Shopify store, find winning product, put it on the store, spend your life savings on ads, and then fingers crossed you make some money. How many horror stories have you heard of people who've gone out there, built a store, put a ton of time and energy into it, spent 3, 4, 5 grand on advertising and have nothing to show for it? That's what's taught online. Now, is it wrong? No, it absolutely works. I've got advanced clients who are doing insane numbers with it. And there's also thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people who make exceptional money with that exact model. But here's the catch. It's 2024. And it is not as easy as it used to be when I started, when a lot of these other people that you see on YouTube started. Nowadays in 2024, ad costs are through the roof, which means there's less profit to be made. And now because you have all the information that you could ever need right here on your phone, information is available everywhere as well, which means that there are a lot of skilled people competing for the same customers that are out there for you right now. So what this all means is that you have to be really, really good, really, really confident, and have a lot of money to test products for in order for you to become successful. When in the past, you could have a half-assed store, not a lot of budget, and you could kind of be half-assed confident as well. And you could still pretty much do okay early on. And then you start to get more confident. Then you have more cash coming in, and then you can do really, really well. Before, you could kind of get away with it. Nowadays, if you don't have the skill or the confidence or the capital to jump into the market and compete with these people, you're not going to do very well. The landscape has changed, and so people who are teaching that as the very first thing that a beginner does in the online world and the e-com world, it just isn't true. You need to have the skill, you need to have the cash, and you need to also have the confidence in order for you to be able to take the moves and the risks necessary to get a dropshipping store off the ground in 2024. And so it's not a case that it's dead forever, it's a case that it's dead in the stage that you're likely in your journey. It is not a viable option. When you're starting out, we need to make sure that you're feeling confident, that you have some money coming in already online, so that you know you can do this. You got cash that you can use for your store, for your brand, and you've already learned some basic high income skills that you can use on your store to really compete against these other people. These other people aren't the world's smartest marketers by any means, but you're going to have some fundamentals in order for you to do well. And that's the same reason why we built Ecom Boss Mentoring. So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you would have seen that we specialize specifically on organic dropshipping for beginners. So using free storefronts like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and Etsy to take winning products, put them on those storefronts where we don't have to pay for products up there, or in other cases, a very tiny cent value to put a listing up there, can go in front of buyers and make sales. And because we're not paying for any advertising, really, no Facebook ads, no Instagram ads, no TikTok ads, outside of the cost of the product and maybe a fee from Etsy or a fee from eBay, everything is pure profit when you minus the cost of the supplier. And so by doing that, our clients who come into Ecom Boss Mentoring, we show them exactly what to sell and how to sell it and how to do really well, how to scale it up. They're able to go out there without shelling any money on ads or Shopify or anything along those lines, really taking no risk at all, are able to make their first $50 to $100 to $200 a day without ever taking on any risk, and most importantly, without needing to have the confidence and the skill required that you used to have. And that's why when you go to my social media, like my Instagram, like my Trustpilot, like my YouTube, like you are right now, you'll see that we have more client results and more proof than basically any other guru out there. And that's because we actually teach a different model that works for beginners. In their models, they teach that old model, and while it can be very effective, it means their success rate is insanely low. So they'll show you the 1% who do well, but not the 99% who burn through $5,000 on ads and never want to touch a laptop ever again. So what should you do? What you should do is understand that if you're in the beginning of your career, you want to focus on learning high income skills and skills that can allow you to generate cash and generate skills and generate confidence without needing to take on all the risk of some of those more complicated models. And that's why we recommend the Ecom Boss model. That's why we recommend Ecom Boss Mentoring. That's why we built it, to give you the skills so you can start making sales online without all that stuff. And then if you're loving it and you're doing well and you want to then go ahead and scale, then you can go ahead and take products that are doing really well over here and apply them to a Shopify store and use some of the capital that you've generated on ads to scale it up because you know that it's selling and you know that it'll do well. And then you can start to get results like Chris, who has an interview here on my channel, doing $70,000 in 2 months with his store after going through the Ecom Boss program. We have other people like Craig, who did $180,000 in a single month on his Shopify store after going through the Ecom Boss program and the fundamentals. Those interviews you can see right here on the channel. You go to my playlist, you'll see them listed there under student interviews, but that's the actual path you want to take. Dropshipping isn't dead. The approach that you're taught on YouTube as a beginner is. You need to change the order you're doing things. And if you do it in that order, nothing can stop you because you have nothing to lose. You're not taking on the financial risk. You're not taking on the stress of having to make sure you generate a certain ROAS each and every day as a beginner. Otherwise, you're going to lose your savings. We're not doing that. We're making money online, having fun, and then you can take that and run with it as far as you want. If you have any questions on how to do this stuff, you can check out some of the other videos here on my channel. You can drop a comment. I'm always responding. And if you like the sound of that model and you want to learn how to go out there and start generating your first $50 to $100 to $200 a day without ever building a Shopify store or spending any money on ads, my Instagram is linked below. And you can flick me a DM to find out more about Ecom Boss Mentoring, our one-on-one coaching program where we teach you all this stuff backed by a results guarantee, and most importantly, while having an absolute blast in the process. If you flip me a message on Instagram, really is me. I'll send you a voice message to prove it, and I can answer all your questions as we go. But I hope that video was super valuable for you. If you have any questions, again, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.